Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Heritage Oakville Advisory Committee meeting, which is open to the public. Members of the public may also watch the meeting live stream on oakville.ca or the town's YouTube channel. Delegations who wish to join the meeting are required to pre-register with the Clerk's Department by noon the day before the meeting. There is one registered delegation for today's meeting. Delegations are reminded that they have 10 minutes to speak to an item on the agenda. Agenda and materials are available on oakville.ca under Town Hall, Agendas and Meetings. You can also find the online delegation form in the Agendas and Meetings section that can be submitted electronically should you wish to delegate at a future Heritage Oakville Advisory Committee meeting. We have 2 discussion items today and 1 information item on the agenda. So let's begin. Do we have any regrets for today's meeting?
Yes, Drew, Russell, Carrie, and Emma are regrets.
Okay, and we still have quorum, so thank you. Do we have any declarations of pecuniary interest? None? Okay, none received. No declarations of pecuniary interests are declared. And a confirmation of minutes of the previous meeting. Can we have a motion? Thank you, Bob. Moved that the minutes of the Heritage Oakville Advisory Committee meeting of September 23rd, 2025 be approved. Okay, that's carried. So we have the discussion items. Oh. Screen's not working. Bob's screen's not working. Can we have some technical help?
No.
Thank you. Take a minute here. Thank you. You're good, George? All right. So shall we continue with discussion item number 1? Will be presented by Carolyn. It is the Heritage Permit application for 429 McDonald Road, replacement of the garage doors. Take it away, Carolyn.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. So this is one of 2 Heritage Permit applications today. We'll take you through, 1 second. Oh, there we go. So this is one of the more recently designated properties done as part of the designation project over the last couple of years. The property is located east of Watson Avenue, north of McDonald Road. And again, it was designated in 2024, so very recent. It contains a 1931 2.5-story brick and stucco-clad Tudor-style house known as Nansidwell. And the application is to remove the 2 existing single-car garage doors on the east elevation, which includes a center wood column, and install a new double-car garage door in the same location. This is quite a minor change, but the reason we're bringing it to you as a major application is that it does affect heritage attributes that were included in the designation bylaw. So when you look at this view of the house, the garage is on the far right side of the house in this photo. But throughout the building, you can see there are these curved wood arched columns on the front porch. You can see them on the left-hand side at the porch, the side screened-in porch there as well. And so these were included as a heritage attribute in the designation bylaw. You can see in this view here, again, the garage is located on the east side. It is original to the house, but is not really readily visible from the street. It's sort of tucked into the side. And here's a view of it up close. So the arched wood column in the center is technically a heritage attribute that should be retained when we're dealing with designated properties, when we're looking at attributes actually included in the bylaw. The goal is to retain them as much as possible. So we wanted to bring this to the committee because technically we couldn't delegate it, but staff is supportive of the change. So the goal from the owner's perspective is to replace the two existing separate doors. The doors themselves are not heritage attributes and could be replaced, and replace them with one garage door. The reason being that they're quite narrow doors, and also just with the location of the garage close to the east property line, it's difficult to maneuver the vehicles into such a tight space. And so from a functional perspective for long-term use of the heritage building and maintaining it as a functional family home, staff is supportive of it because the overall general Tudor aesthetic will not be removed, even though this one column here is actually proposed to be removed. There are over about 20 of these columns throughout the house that will still be there after the change. So this is the new garage door proposed. It was designed custom to replicate the existing doors. So I'll just go back. You can see the panels on the doors are proportionately vertical, just like you can see with the half timbering and stucco on the walls above. So the idea was to maintain that aesthetic and those proportions, which match with the Tudor aesthetic of the rest of the house. So this is the new proposed door with a wood overlay, going to match as it is today. The columns, the other columns on either side will be retained, and just that center one is to be removed. So again, the center column is a heritage attribute, but it is one of over 20 throughout the building. It improves functionality and usability of the garage, but does not impact in a negative way the overall Tudor character of the house. And again, the new door has been designed to match the existing doors and the Tudor style of the house. So again, a minor application, but from a technical perspective, not one that we could delegate, so we brought to the committee for review. But our staff recommendation is that the application for the replacement of the garage doors be approved and that the permit expire within 2 years. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
It's on? Okay. Thank you, Carolyn. Do we have any questions of Carolyn? No questions? Yes.
Sorry.
Councillor.
Just a quick question. This is through you, Chair. I'll be outside our wheelhouse, but is there a purpose for that middle column? Maybe holding up the level upstairs, or?
Through you, Madam Chair, to the councillor. So structurally, the applicants had no concerns with it being removed, so they had looked into that. I think it was really more an aesthetic thing between the two doors. But when they put the new door in, it's the span is not too large structurally for the building.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor McNeice. Any further questions of Carolyn? Okay, no further questions. Let's see. Councillor Giddings. I see that little hand.
Thanks, Madam Chair. I don't have any questions of staff. I'd be happy to move
Okay,
the
thank
recommendation.
you. Thank you, Councillor Giddings. Confined to the board, do we have, are there any further comments that we'd like to address? No? No further comments? As there are no further comments or questions, we have a motion by Councillor Giddings that the heritage permit application for the replacement of the garage doors at 429 McDonald Road as attached in Appendix D to the report dated October 14, 2025 from the Planning and Development Department be approved, and that this heritage permit expire 2 years from the date of final approval by council. None opposed, so the motion is carried. Thank you. Discussion item 2, again, presented by Carolyn. Take it away.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. So our second application here today, this is the house on McDonald Road. It's located within the Trafalgar Road Heritage Conservation District, so it's the north side of McDonald Road, east of Trafalgar Road. And again, it's designated as part of the district, excuse me, and it is a contributing property for its circa 1911 to 1912 2.5-story Queen Anne Revival style brick house. And the application is to construct a 2-story frame addition to the rear of the existing house. So I'll show you some views from the street. The new addition will be, again, behind the heritage house. So if you're looking at the bottom image with the 2 vehicles, the second white vehicle farther away, the new addition will still be farther behind that. So it's all located, excuse me, it's all located to the rear of the back wall. And 2 other views. Here on the left, we have the front elevation, and then on the right, we have that east elevation. So again, the new addition is all set behind that bay window that you can see on the east elevation. And then on the left hand side, you can see the rear elevation. This will be covered up by the new addition. And then on the right-hand side, this is the west elevation. No changes are proposed to this elevation. It'll remain as is. Or no significant changes. There are some minor changes, but the walls and doors and windows remain the same. So just another view from the rear. This is quite a large property. It's very long, so a lot of space for a new addition. Here's an aerial showing on the bottom left-hand side, you can see an older stable garage building. So that's part of the property and will be maintained. But you can, just gives you a sense of the scale of the property, quite a large property. So no minor variances are required for the new addition. And here's a view of the site plan. On the left-hand side, showing again the whole site plan. Again, it's a long property, so on the right-hand side is showing it closer up. The shaded area is the existing house, and the new addition is in white to the rear. And it does include a one-car garage on the right-hand side. Here is the roof plan. So the bottom portion, again, being a hip roof of the existing heritage house. The new addition to the rear is a hip roof around the side. There is a section in the middle here that is a flat roof. Typically, we don't like to see too much flat roof in the district, especially for the second story. In this case, it was a bit of a unique one where the existing heritage house has a dormer, which you can see on the roof plan at the very back of the house. And the dormer includes a window which has views out into the backyard. So the challenge was to make sure we're not covering up this rear dormer window and allowing views from it. But it's quite a tall house. So the way of dealing with this was to continue the hip roof around the new addition behind the heritage house, but to lower it in the center with a flat roof section. This shouldn't be visible from the street, even from the backyard for the most part, because it is tucked up and behind. But it was a way to be able to mitigate this issue, which was, again, a bit of a challenge. It's a very uniquely tall structure. So you can see here in the front elevation, the existing house, which has quite a tall peak, and in the new addition, which is, again, keeping that hip roof and keeping the slope that you can see on the front porch, the gable on the front porch, that was continued and reflected in the new roof of the new addition. So you can see the one-car garage door on the bottom and the living space above with proposed vertical wood siding. And again, from this view, it's difficult to see, but that new addition is completely set back behind the heritage house. This helps see that location of the addition. This is the east elevation. So you're looking at the garage on the first story with living space above and a new covered porch in the back. And in this view, you can also see that dormer window at the top of the heritage house looking out over the new addition. And then this is the rear where you can see that dormer window again with the new addition lowered in height. Again, the existing heritage house is actually about 12 meters high, and the zoning only permits about 9 meters high. So the owners wanted to keep within the zoning bylaw regulations, again, which is why you're seeing the new addition significantly lower than the heritage house. So again, lots of windows on this rear elevation, which staff and the committee have supported in the past for having larger openings and more glazing at the rear, which we wouldn't support, of course, in the front. And then coming around the west elevation, the heritage house remains the same, except they are adding that little porch overhang over the door. So that is a new addition. Otherwise, the heritage house remains the same, and the new addition extends from along the west elevation. Difficult to see in this elevation, but again, we can't share floor plans, but right where the new addition meets the heritage house, there has been a slight inset, so the wall actually is inset a little bit so that there's a clear differentiation between the heritage house and the new addition, so that it's not just one continuous wall. So there will be a little bit of shading, so with the way that wall steps in a little bit, just again to create that clear distinction, so it's not just a continuous wall from brick to wood siding. And then we do have a few perspective drawings which help just show where the new addition will be. So again, there's the garage addition pushed back behind the bay window, and then this is the rear elevation with a garage door entering to the rear yard. So in terms of the heritage assessment, we did work with the owners on a few different versions of this. This is one where we finally got to a place where we felt supportive of the work because, again, there was those challenges with the existing height of the roof and the dormer window and how we deal with the new roof on the new addition. But generally speaking, the new addition is set to the rear of the heritage house. It's significantly lower in height in accordance with the guidelines. The garage is attached, but it's only one bay, and again, set back behind the house. The new addition continues the hip roof and the eaves of the heritage house. There's continuity there. And the vertical proportions of the heritage house are continued in the form of the new addition as well as the new windows proposed. And the new addition has compatible but different materials, so wood siding, a stone base, wood trim to complement the heritage house. And again, the historic house itself is to be retained and restored. No heritage attributes of the existing house are to be impacted directly. So the staff recommendation is that the application to construct a new rear addition be approved. And we have included the condition that the approval of final details in the cladding, trim, windows, and doors go through heritage planning as staff when the applicants have finalized all those details. But they will be in general accordance with the application you see today. And I'm happy to answer any questions, and I believe we also have representatives of the applicants here as well.
Thank you, Carolyn. We do have a delegate registered for today. Are there any questions of Carolyn before we get to the delegate? No questions? George? No? Okay. So we have the delegate. And the delegate is Matthew Antonacci, who's representing the Francesco Serafini architectural firm.
Yeah, actually, I'm Francesco Serafini. Matthew is the client. My apologies for any misunderstanding. I was going to make some comments about the house and the addition, but Caroline had done a good job of describing everything that has taken place. There was a lot of discussions with heritage staff and also with our clients. So the solution you see before you is based on a lot of communication, shall we say. And the client has no problems with the conditions that are put in place. And when we go to material selection, the material selection stage, we will be submitting samples of everything that is required.
Thank you, Mr. Serafini. Are there any questions of the delegate? No questions? Thank you. As there are no further questions of either Carolyn or Mr. Serafini, can we have a motion for this application? Councillor Giddings? Councillor Giddings is moving to approve? Okay. So moved by Councillor Giddings that the permit application for 279 McDonald Road for the construction of a new rear addition be approved, subject to the following: that the approval of final details on the new cladding, trim, windows, and doors by Heritage Planning staff, and 2, that this heritage permit expire 2 years from the date of final approval by council. All in favor? Everybody? Yes. Motion is approved. The next item is an information item for the Downtown Oakville Heritage Conservation District update. And we'll have an update from Kristen. Take it away, Kristen.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks. So I'm just here to give you a very brief kind of verbal update on the Downtown Oakville Heritage Conservation District Review Project. As some of you may be aware, this has been going on this past year, starting about in the late spring. Staff have been conducting this review. So very briefly, this review process stems from the actual plan and guidelines for the downtown HCD. There is a section that recommends a review process. So it's different than the larger updates that we've seen like through Old Oakville HCD. This is supposed to be more of a kind of a regular, smaller scale review where you're kind of going through the document, going through how the HCD is operating and making sure that it's functioning well for the community, it's compliant with legislation, things like that. So it's not as big of a scale as Old Oakville. So we have been there in the section, it does recommend specific kinds of tools to use, what kind of data to analyze, to collect and analyze. And in the end, the results should show how the plan and guidelines are meeting its stated objectives. So there's 15 in the downtown HCD. So that process has been going on since about late spring. Staff conducted public engagement this past summer through surveys and public meetings, and we also met with some interested parties. And then this fall, summer and fall, there's been a lot of data analysis and some draft revisions with the planning guidelines and its associated documents. So all that work has been going on behind the scenes. It's a multi-layered kind of review, and it is the first time staff is doing something like this. So it has been interesting kind of figuring it out as we, not figuring it out, but working on it as we go and refining it and planning for the future with it as well. So kind of on the note of public engagement, it's not, these reviews, it's a proactive staff process, so it's not legally required under the Ontario Heritage Act, but we are going to be following a similar process as the Act states for the designation of HCDs in terms of public engagement. So what I mean is that we are going to be having a statutory public meeting on the revisions and the project in front of Planning and Development Council, just because we felt there's several reasons, but public engagement is critical and feedback is important on all of our projects. And we want to make sure, especially because it is a new kind of system, that we are getting as much feedback as possible at every opportunity. So I just bring that up because I want the committee to be aware that that statutory public meeting should be happening in the next couple months, hopefully, by the end of the year or early New Year. And then after that, we would be bringing it to Heritage Oakville, similar to how the Old Oakville stat public meeting worked back in February for those that were here. So just wanted to bring it up, wanted to give everyone a heads up. It will probably be a bit of a hefty item. So just giving you a fair warning about that item. And I think that might be it for my update.
Well, thank you, Kristen. It's really good to hear that this is moving forward, and it's moving forward in a really well-designed democratic process. It's a hefty document. The first one we read, it's beautifully done, and the graphics were wonderful. The visuals were really easy to follow. I think it's been a great improvement, and I think we've heard nothing but positive feedback from our end. So
Thank you.
kudos to the team. Okay. I wanted to just mention that any applicant or member of the public wishing to speak further regarding an item on the Heritage Oakville Advisory Committee agenda for today may register for council at its meeting on November 17th at 6:30 p.m., when the recommendations from today's meeting will go forward for final consideration by council. The date and time of the next meeting is November 25th, at this Oakville Municipal Building in the council chambers at 9:30. And
Madam Chair, can we just have a vote to accept the information item, please?
thank you, Lisa. Can we have a vote to accept, a motion to accept the discussion item there? Or the information item? George? Thank you, George. George moves to accept the information item. Thank you. The information item is accepted. Boy, I miss Drew on these occasions, don't we? Okay. Can we have a motion to adjourn? Bob, thank you. The meeting is officially adjourned, and I will use Drew's favorite phrase, and that is, thank you for the gift of your time, everybody on the committee, and thank you for staff for their excellent job. Thank you. The meeting is
Well
adjourned.
done, Madam Chair.
Recording